Hello and welcome back to Traveling with Greg. This is the part 2 of series about our trip to New York, where we share in our experiences to help future travelers. We started our day with going to the location where it was filmed outside of Monica's apartment from TV show Friends. We then headed over to Chelsea Market. This is a great place to check out. There is a lot of shops and nice food. However, only the lower levels of the building are open to the public. Upper levels contains offices, one of which is Disney+. After grabbing some more food and obviously more ice cream, we then headed to the High Line. The High Line was built on a historical freight rail line that is elevated from the streets. It offers some amazing views of the city, and there are a lot of unique architectures that you can see. Also, I was very surprised to see how many regular buildings have decorated rooftops. It's like the regular boring roofs were transformed into beautiful greenery oases.
Once we were done with the High Line, it was time to start heading to our helicopter tour. Or so we thought. We looked up taking an Uber or a Lyft, and it was going to cost over $100 to get there. So we attempted to take a route that we found that involved a subway, then a train, then a bus. It was extremely confusing and we almost missed our train. Then we had difficulties trying to figure out which bus to take. I honestly almost gave up and called an Uber, but my wife helped me figure it all out and it ended up costing us about $35 to get to the tour. Once we got there, we had a brief orientation, then we got ready for our flight. It's a quick shuttle ride to the helicopter where you meet your pilot. The pilot introduces themselves and goes over a few more safety rules. This is also a great opportunity to grab some photos next to the helicopter. Then you get airborne. This was an absolutely amazing experience. We got to fly over New York, getting to check out downtown Manhattan, Central Park, the Statue of Liberty, as well as other parts of the city. If you are daring enough, you can even stick your feet out of the side of the helicopter when the pilot gives the signal. I did it, however, everyone else in the helicopter was too scared to do it. This tour is definitely something we will be doing again in the future. Once we got back from our trip, we both ended up printing some of the photos we took from this tour. Our flight lasted just under 30 minutes. Once we got all our gear back, we looked up Uber to get back to Manhattan, and the price was now $40, so we picked up an Uber, and then we took a subway to the Dumbo area so we could play an escape room called Beat the Bomb.
Beat the Bomb is a video-themed escape room that we highly recommend. It was funny because each room played to each of our strengths. In the first room, there were multiple monitors that you had to go down the list of each monitor completing your task. My husband definitely excelled at that one. The second room was the laser room. It was one of our favorite rooms. We were trying to play normally, but then we found out that we are both small enough that we could just crawl underneath the lasers and get the high score. The third room was a music memory room. You had to remember a sound sequence, then play it back by memory. Kind of like an advanced version of the old Simon Says game. My husband was pretty useless for that game, but I really liked it, and we also scored very high at that. The fourth room is a little difficult to explain, but the floor was a grid and you're the player. You had to move your body into the right position on the floor while avoiding lasers and other objects being fired at you. Then the fifth and the final room was the room where you defused the bomb. Depending on how well you did in the other 4 rooms, it would determine how much time you would get in the final room to defuse the bomb. You are given some tubes that you need to squeeze in order to control your robot. You had to go through the map and destroy all the targets on your way to win. We ended up beating the game and celebrate. The person that worked there told us that only about 10% of people successfully defused the bomb. We were happy to hear that, but the whole reason we went there in the first place is to get sprayed with the paint. So we had her detonate the bomb anyways. Even though we were expecting it, it still caught us off guard. After cleaning the paint off ourselves, we decided to grab some pizza before heading to the hotel. We found this place called Little Italy Pizza. It was pretty much the only place open. We weren't sure if it's good or not, but honestly, after we tried it, it was the worst food we had the whole entire trip.
On day 5, we checked out of our first hotel, and I played a trick on my wife for the next hotel. I wanted to make it a surprise that we were going to be staying at the Arlo NoMad hotel. I told her that I had purchased something on eBay and was going to pick it up from their apartment so they didn't have to ship it. I even had her sit outside while I got the security pass. She had no idea until I walked into the room. This is one of the highlights of the trip next to the helicopter tour. The room had fantastic views, Even though part of our view was under construction, it was still an amazing place to stay. After enjoying the room for a bit, we headed out to the brand new Harry Potter store. When we got there, we found out there was a virtual line that we had to join. There was at least 320 people in line in front of us, so we decided to head to the Flatiron Building to check it out. This building was used at the Continental in the film John Wick. Unfortunately, this was also under construction, so our view was obstructed. We eventually made it inside the Harry Potter store, and it had multiple themed rooms and it's 2 stories. It did feel a little crowded though, and it was difficult to see a lot of the items. While you're in the store, you can download the app and do a scavenger hunt, and if you complete it, you can receive a pin when checking out. We purchased a few wands and other items while in the store and grabbed some butterbeer before heading out. Once we left the Harry Potter store, Hurricane Elsa was just starting to hit New York, and it was going to storm for the rest of the night. So we headed back to the hotel, grabbed some food, and watched the latest episode of Loki while enjoying some butterbeer with a great view. That's it for part 2. We have one more video coming out from our New York trip, so make sure you like and subscribe if you want to check out part 3. See you there.